I've certainly heard a bunch of reviewers, especially Apple fans, mock Samsung for the Galaxy Watch Ultra, calling it a clone of the Apple Watch Ultra. I even saw an article on 9to5 Google claiming that it's not just a clone of the Apple Watch Ultra, but also a $6,000 Hermes watch. Samsung may have taken some design inspiration from other watches, including Apple's, but to say it's a blatant copycat is ignorant and frankly ridiculous, and here's why. First, if Samsung has copied anyone, it's themselves. Looking at the 2017 Gara S3 Frontier, you can see the Galaxy Watch Ultra's gleaming design with that circular dial on a square body, just like it does now. Apple's first Ultra came out in 2022, and this Hermes HOA thing hasn't been around until 2021, 4 years after the Samsung S3 Frontier. So, to say that Samsung has copied either of those case designs is just plain wrong. Incidentally, this rounded square shape on the watch is called a pillowcase design, and it's actually a classic watch design from the mid-20th century, long before smartwatches were around. This design isn't exclusive to Apple, Hermes, or even Samsung. Samsung's use of the pillowcase design is a continuation of traditional watchmaking style, not a copycat of anything. Some say Samsung has stolen Apple's Ultra naming convention. The funny thing is, Samsung was using Ultra on its top-tier models long before Apple decided to jump on the bandwagon in 2022. And let's not forget that Sony has even used Ultra on its larger phones for over 10 years. So who's copying who here? Then there's the whole orange band debate. People are quick to point fingers at Samsung for copying Apple on this one. But wait, Samsung used the same orange on its S3 Frontier 5 years before Apple. Orange bands have been a staple on dive watches for decades. The reason for that is very practical, as orange is highly visible underwater. This tradition of using orange for visibility was adopted by many watchmakers long before the Apple Watch Ultra. The hollow tube design of the band may resemble Apple's Ocean Band, but that's common in rugged watches. It allows air to pass through and maintains its durability without weighing you down. This makes sense given Samsung's focus on the outdoors and was around long before Apple's. As for the action button, this is one area where I agree that Samsung may have taken direct inspiration from the Apple Watch Ultra. It's a customizable button on the side to start workouts or launch apps, and it's similar to Apple's design. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Good ideas in tech often get adopted across brands because they improve the user experience. In this case, Samsung saw a good feature and implemented it in its own way. And those software features that people say Samsung copied, like night mode and the siren? Well, that's true. Let's not forget that companies copy software features all year long. If you call it copying, iOS 18 could be a direct lift from Android's greatest hits of the past decade. Now, with all that said, I'm by no means saying that Samsung is completely innocent here. They've certainly taken some inspiration, but calling it a blatant copycat is ridiculous in my opinion. Samsung could have avoided all comparisons to the Apple Watch entirely by simply not using the orange band and the Ultra name, yet they've deliberately chosen to include it. The reason is obvious. Marketing. Apple created the Ultra name for its top-of-the-line watch, positioning it as the pinnacle of its product line. By using the Ultra for its own watches, Samsung is cleverly tapping into this established market recognition. Now, when you hear the word Ultra in reference to a smartwatch, you don't just think of Apple, you think of Samsung. And the orange band? It's a smart move to get people talking. And it works. If you check out Apple's websites and forums, you'll find not only people discussing the Galaxy Watch Ultra, but some even preferring it to Apple's version. And this hype is exactly what Samsung wanted, to make people see its watch as a serious competitor to the Apple Watch and make it impossible to ignore. Thanks for watching. This is Galaxy Go.